JJ, young man, what is going on out there today in Pontiac, Michigan?
It's a beautiful day here at Wesson Lawn Tennis Club, and the grass is just getting, today's a little better than last night. It was a little soft last night, but we had all that rain before, but now today it's even better, and it just smells great when you're out there on the grass. And then, by the weekend here, tomorrow and Sunday, the courts are just going to play magically.
Wow.
They're just going to be off the charts.
Well, I tell you, if you're anywhere in the Midwest, I don't know why you wouldn't jump on an airplane or just get in the car and just bomb on over the Wesson Lawn Tennis Club, hit up Jeff and say, Jeff, could I be a member for like 3 hours?
Right.
He might be able to help you out there.
I gotta work something out.
Yeah. Hey, guys, listen, thanks for hanging out with me and Jeff. Again, another episode of the Gold Ball Hunting Podcast, where we're helping tennis players, man. We're helping them reduce their skill level range. We haven't talked about that for a while. Right?
Right.
One day you go out there, singles or doubles, and you nail it. Nail it. You go home, honey, I have figured this thing out.
I am a god among men.
And she goes, great. That's great, babe. That's great. Cool. You go out the next day. The day before was here. Today is bomb. It's just a big thud. And you go home, tail between your legs, don't even say anything. And she knows, or he knows. Goes, babe, how was it today? Wasn't quite so good.
I'm sorry, I didn't catch that.
Your spouse goes, so you mean you haven't quite figured this game out yet? Okay. Well, the skill level range one day here, the next day not so great. And if you really want to build true confidence in your game, guys, what we're here to do with Gold Ball Hunting is to help you raise the bottom of that skill level you've got, the range. So the skill level range is infinitesimal. Is that a word?
Yeah,
Tiny?
it is today.
Is that small?
It is today.
That's fine. We got our own language here at Gold Ball Hunting. So listen, guys, if you're not already on our email list, jump on over to goldballhunting.com, drop in a first name and email address, click the button, and you're going to get access to two very cool things. Number one is going to be a video that Jeff and I shot back in January, maybe it was December, to teach you how to reduce your skill level range. No one talks about this stuff, Jeff. No one.
Nobody.
It's anyway. And the other thing is you're going to get access to our online calendar scheduler, where if you want, you could get on a free 10-minute private coaching call with you, me, and Jeff, and talk about that one thing in your game right now that is holding you back from reducing that skill level range. It's free, it's private, but when you get signed up over at Gold Ball Hunting, you'll get access to our calendar where you can cherry pick a date and time that works best for your schedule. So another episode today, Jeff, and you've got something pretty cool that you want to talk about in a match that you saw recently in San Jose, California. Yeah.
Watching the Mubadala Open, or I'm not sure exactly how you pronounce it, but it used to be the Bank of the West at Stanford. Now it's at San Jose State. They built a whole new tennis complex there, and it's pretty nice. And so anyway, I was watching the Bethany Maddox-Sands match when she played Venus and beat Venus in 3, and it was just a brilliant execution of disruption.
And wasn't that the first time that she'd beaten Venus?
Yeah. And it was her first match, her first singles match back.
That's right. That's right.
And she deployed the tactic in the first set, and then kind of strayed off of it a little bit. As I was watching, I was going, God, why are you straying? And then she really stuck with the game plan in the second set. And on the changeover, so she lost the first set in the breaker. And on the changeover, after she won the second set, her coach came down and they had a quick, brief exchange. And there was no sports platitudes or cliches. It was a really great, clean exchange. And Bethany saying, yeah, I feel really good about, taking the ball up the center of the court right at her. and I like the results I'm getting with my, with the dropper, with the drop shot she was deploying, and really, it just really, the execution was just so well done, and you could just see how driving this ball up the center of the court really gave Venus limited angles to work with. So even when she went big, Bethany only had to move from the center of the court to the single sideline. She didn't have to actually go out farther because Venus couldn't cut that corner off anymore. And so it really provided opportunity for Bethany to hit the cross-court dropper. And not everyone was a winner. There were some winners in there, but mostly it just got Venus moving forward and hitting the ball from below the level of the net. And Bethany snuck in a few times and took the volley. Other times she hedged her bet a little bit and hit the passing shot because Venus was so caught off to one side of the court.
Right.
So for me, the observation was just, the tactics you deploy, you have to stay on script. You've got to see that it's working and know that you're not going to win every one of those points. So she didn't win every point that she drop shotted with. However, she set up points. Even the points she lost, she was in the hunt on that point because she created it just created opportunity for her.
Yeah, I love it when, and I had the same experience recently at the hard courts in Irvine where same exact kind of thing. But what I think it does, the way you're describing what Bethany did against Venus, is that when you drive the ball up the middle of the court, and then occasionally you show a dropper, and even if the dropper doesn't win you that 1 point, if you now put the thought into your opponent's mind, God dang it, I've got to be looking for that drop shot.
Yeah.
So I better maybe hedge my bet a little bit and move up, a step or two, which maybe they were behind the baseline. Now you've got them on top of the baseline, if not maybe a step inside the baseline. And now when you drive that ball right back up the middle again,
right,
where that opponent's thinking, man, I got to be looking for the dropper. Now you're starting to mess with them because now it's tougher for them to get out of the way of it. And if they start to back up, dropper. So you got them on a little bit of a short, string there, a little bit of a yo-yo kind of moving them up and back. And it's just, you're absolutely right. Total disruption. Just complete disruption.
And I love the fact, too, that Bethany's clarity in the exchange with her coach. It wasn't her coach saying, keep doing this. It was Bethany telling the coach, listen, I'm feeling strong about this. This is working well, blah, blah, blah. And he just supported her.
Yeah.
But again, there was no, sports platitudes and cliches going back and forth. It was just, and Bethany was just all smiles that night. You could just see she was just, she finishes the first set and loses it in the breaker. And she actually, she had opportunity to win that first set and she was just grinning.
Yeah.
You could see she was just loving the opportunity to play the game and actually deploy this tactic. It was like she was like seeing it so clearly that all she had to do now was execute, and this was probably going to fall her way. And, I'd say obviously the former number one doubles player in the world, she used all those skills to deploy this. It's a simple tactic, but you've got to have the skill set and the trust to pull it off and know that you're going to lose some of those points.
Well, one of the things you just said, this is off topic, but you just mentioned about the coach, and that I think way too often, I see it with coaches, and I see it with doubles partners, where the coach comes out and it's kind of like, well, they feel this obligation to coach, to say, listen to me, and as opposed to what you're just describing is the guy just sat there and listened. And lots of times when I get players coming to me and they say, well, I see that you just watched me play. What do you think? And I don't give them, all that I do is ask them questions. Well, how'd you feel about this? And let them start talking. Well, how'd you feel about that? And the next thing you know is they've figured the thing out on their own. And all that you were was just a sounding board. Well, look, in doubles, we do the same thing too. Sometimes doubles partners, they got this thing where I got to go teach. I got to go coach my partner up. and you're better off going over there and just firing some questions and letting your partner talk. So a bit off topic
absolutely.
from what we're talking about with.
Well, yes and no, but it is it is the player's responsibility to kind of be aware of what the heck's going on out there, and when the match is over and in the middle of it, be able to tell the coach, like, this is what I'm feeling, you know. And so if the coach is just there constantly telling the player to do X, Y, Z, or the player's asking and the player never has any like self-awareness about what's going on, then there's going to be stunted growth there too in their quest to be a better player.
Well,
anyway, but I just thought it was a very cool exchange. And I just thought the clarity that Bethany had and her just joy of playing the game was just like,
she had a plan.
At the end of the match, during the interview, as she was closing in on the end of the third set, I think she won the third set 6-2 or something like that, and she goes, "Oh man, let me tell you," and at 4-1 or 5-1 or whatever it was, I could smell the grilled cheese sandwiches coming off the wing over there on the vendor over there. It was like, it totally got me through the end of the match, So she was just like totally like grilled absorbing the whole thing. It was great.
Well, look, I mean, I think that we're talking about singles play here. She had a plan, obviously had a plan.
Yeah.
And the coaching exchange really kind of bore that out, where she was going, I'm loving doing this, I'm loving doing that. And it's important. I mean, you and I have got a playbook coming out soon, right? We keep saying this, but we've actually done the finishing touches on it. It's coming out. I got to do a little traveling, which is kind of delaying it a little bit. But one of the key ingredients in our playbook is that you got to have a plan in terms of what are you going to do today. And we've got 7 plays in the playbook, and each play you kind of got to figure out, well, this would really work well today. And I think that's exactly what she did in that match against Venus. She figured out
totally
up the middle and then a dropper is a great plan. And obviously she executed it well. So Jeff, good stuff as always. Gosh, I think we've already made the offer for the free 10-minute coaching call. We don't need to do that again. So, Jeffrey, what would we like to find folks to do at this point in time in their lives?
Like us, share us, please subscribe.
Oh, yeah.
Let us know what you think down below.
Yes. Well said. Get out there today. Do it. Just get out there. Help someone else have a spectacular day. Jeff, let's do this again tomorrow.
I can't wait.